This is Charleston's retirement coach, Brandon Bowen.
I'm Heather Branch, here asking Brandon for his ideas on ways that you can better prepare for this next phase of your financial life, focusing on your retirement goals. A local independent financial advisory firm with offices in Mount Pleasant, Brandon and his team are here to help you. They are helping folks all around Charleston. They can help you as well when it comes to figuring out the game plan for your retirement goals. That's why we call you Charleston's retirement coach, because you really do. You got to have strategies and plans. It's no longer just about save, invest, grow. It's about so many things, Brandon, for our retirement plan.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, like any good coach, you've got all of these plays, this big playbook here, and depending on time and distance and down and all these circumstances, you know what play to call.
Yeah.
So yes, it's if we're in the third or fourth quarter here of your, growing your money, your life, that kind of stuff. That's why I do what I do here, is to help you guys.
Brandon and his team, they are here to help you as well. As you're listening today, if you want to start the conversation, the number you can dial is 843-890-2400. You can call or text that number, 843-890-2400, or find us anytime at bowenwealth.com while we are on the conversation of game plans. I feel like we usually spend so much time talking about college football. We don't talk about the NFL that much. I mean, I guess being in Charleston, we don't have an NFL team here.
I know. I have certain players that I like.
Yeah.
I don't have a team. Yeah. Of course, because I'm from the Carolinas here. Right. So we just,
Right. And
you got Charlotte or Atlanta, but, I'm just, not really a team. How about you?
I've never followed in. My whole family lives in Atlanta, and actually my whole family prior to Atlanta, they're all from New York. You would think we would be big football fans, but we didn't get into football. My family didn't until my sister and I went to Virginia Tech, and we were at Virginia Tech during the Michael Vick era. So then suddenly we became like the football family, and now we're all really into it. My nephew just started school at FSU, and anyways, we could go on and on about college football and college football coaches. But I don't want to digress from the topic at hand, because we are mid-season of the NFL season, and several head coaches are in the hot seat. Same thing seems to be going for college football. It's not even they're in the hot seats. College football is just firing coaches left and right.
Yes.
And so these NFL coaches, they are in danger of losing their jobs as well. There are factors that are involved. We were talking, you and I, off air about the college football. There does seem to be LSU coach there's more going on behind the scenes than we know about. We feel
because that was really fast.
Yeah, it was weird. So with NFL coaches, factors that could be threatening their job is things like a poor start to the season after high expectations, a consistent losing record. Obviously, it's been too long since there was a playoff appearance by the team. The thing about being responsible savers, being hard workers and investors, a lot of us will turn to a financial advisor and look at that advisor as our own coach of sorts for retirement planning. Still, many financial advisors are not specialized in the area of retirement planning. So I wanted to ask you about signals that we can be looking for. The whole analogy of these NFL coaches are in the hot seat. Should we be putting our quote unquote financial coach also in the hot seat? How do we know if we even should? Because so many of us are very unfamiliar with financial conversation, financial lingo. We don't even know if our financial advisor might not be doing the best for us.
That's right. Yeah. Well, I would say the first step is, okay, you got to be thinking through, are you happy getting what you're getting?
Okay.
With what you've been getting. And so, but like you just said, Heather, is like, well, I don't know. I don't know.
I think
are my accounts, is my portfolio doing well?
Yeah.
Or is it underperforming? Is it outperforming? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like in sports and football. Well, gosh, it's easy to see like, okay, we are not doing good. We can see the rankings in the conference.
It's right out there in front of you.
Yes. It's like, okay, we are not doing good. Look at them. All this comparison, right? But it's all out there. So thankfully we don't have all, like wear a t-shirt with like, okay, your yield to date of your portfolio. You'd be like, oh God, you're embarrassed or you're proud.
Right.
So it's really hard to determine, okay, is my guy or girl Are we killing it or what's going on?
Yeah.
So we've got to have, an honest conversation. Okay. And what I would say is a second opinion. Okay. That's really, if you don't know, how to read your statement, or if your reporting software that you're getting from your current advisor doesn't show benchmarks on there. I mean, that's one thing that we do for our clients. They get proactive emails every Sunday morning on how their accounts have performed. Okay.
Yeah.
And if that's too often, we can move it to monthly, right? We use Fidelity, but we use a aggregation software that does this proactive reporting. And so on there, you can click all different timelines, and it's got appropriate benchmarks right there. There's 3 different ones, and you can look. You can say, okay, yeah, I can see if I'm a 60-40, I can see how my blend is right in line. Okay. So that's great. That's, my clients can tell very quickly what's on the scoreboard rankings. Okay. How are we doing in the conference? They can tell. They can tell that. So if you can't tell, then I can help you with that. But yes, you've got to know, how you're doing. So once you get that idea, then I would say here's maybe some other thoughts or questions that I want to bounce off of you, because this might be another indicator. If maybe you're afraid to call your current advisor.
Seriously,
okay?
If you are afraid to call your advisor, that is that is the warning alarm being sounded. Why in heaven's name? That is your money. Please, Brandon, continue.
Well, because they might think, oh, they're so busy, or I don't want to bother. But it's your money.
It's your money.
It is your money. Call them. Yes. So if you're afraid because maybe they don't listen to me, they don't listen to me. And every time I talk to them, if they did listen to me, then they talk over my head. Okay. They're using all these lingos, and I just, and I don't want to go, well, what does that mean? Or what does that stand for?
Financialese. Yeah.
Yes. I'm passionate about simplifying terms and strategies and solutions, and why are we doing this? And, so I want you to be nodding your head. Yes. And people tell me all the time that, Brandon, this is the first time I have understood why we're doing what we're doing. Every other time I'm like, okay, I guess they know what they're doing. They're in a nice suit, and we got this building here, and I'm not the only client. They got more clients probably with more money. So if they're fine, I'm fine, I guess. Right. I mean, you're thinking that.
Yeah.
So they've got to listen to you. And if you're saying, I feel like the markets are about to crash, what can we do to preserve? I feel like we've got way too much at risk right now. Right.
Yeah.
And if they don't listen to you and say, okay, we can take these steps. Here are some steps, or revisit your plan. Okay. Well, this money, this first bucket that we have set up here, that's designed for income. And that's what we're touching now. This other bucket, we're not touching it for 5 years. Right. So then you might feel a little bit better about, okay, we've got some time horizons here on this money. Right. So do they listen to you? And then another alarm could be, okay, has your financial situation has changed, but maybe the advice hasn't. Okay. Maybe you've been in growth mode and now you're looking for retirement and for income, and you're asking for this stuff. You're like, okay, but where am I going to pull my income from? And they're like, oh, you'll be fine. Oh, yeah,
4% a year.
You got it. You're going to be fine. Yeah. Don't worry about it. Yeah. And you're like, well, I'm worrying about it.
Right.
I don't know where I'm going to pull this income from. I don't, it seems like we're still invested for growth. Right. Yeah. So if that advice is not keeping up, I've had several people come to me and they said, Brandon, I told them my last 3 meetings with them of my, complaints, and they didn't address it. So that's why I'm sitting here. I'm like, well, I don't feel bad taking their money because you told them.
Yeah.
Yes. So those are all warning signs, I would say, so know the score, know how you're behaving, know how you're performing compared to, benchmarks and other teams in your conference, if you will. And then if some of those other thoughts have been in your head, then I would say it's time for the second step, which is get a second opinion. Okay. Heather, it's so funny. Like when some of these teams fire a coach, they're just like, you're gone, you're fired. And then they turn around and they can't find anybody.
What's the plan now?
Yeah. What's the plan? Like who are we going to hire here? Right.
Shoot first, aim later, as some might say.
Yes. It's like you were just so mad or something and you fire them. And now, cause there's been several examples, and I'm sitting here thinking, okay, like as a Clemson fan, like there's all these rumblings of Dabo, right? Of just underperforming this year. Just recently I was with my fiance and she's a Carolina fan. We're with all these Carolina fans, and then they lose, and that, and I hear them talking about, well, I don't know if he's our guy, if he's going to be here much longer. And I'm like, hang on. I was like, who are we going to get? Right. Clemson, Carolina, whatever. I mean, yeah, but there's a lot of big schools that have openings, and LSU, Penn State.
Can I just say, as a Hokie, Virginia Tech's first. We fired our coach third game in. We're first in line. Everybody else back up.
Yes. So there, so you got to, okay, like who are you going to, where are you going to go? Right. What coach are you going to get?
Yeah.
Okay. So same thing here with financially, right? Okay. If you go fire your current advisor, you're like, good, glad he or she's gone. But now you got nobody.
And now you got to do it yourself.
Right. Do it yourself or something. So I say, the next step here is to, come have a second opinion, right? Like start interviewing some people.
Yeah.
Start talking to some other advisors. And that's going to help you see like, oh my gosh, we are totally out of date, with our strategies here. I had another new client come in, and it was this bond portfolio, and I'm looking at all these bond holdings, and they had expense ratios. The cost of the funds were anywhere from 1% to 2%.
Okay, so what is that?
For bond funds.
Okay. And bond
so the
funds
cost
have
of
been
the fund,
underperforming. Yeah.
Yes. So it was a bond fund. So it's not going to be growing like stocks. Okay. Yeah. That's the first thing. These are bonds. So they're nice and steady usually. So if you don't get a whole lot of return because you want that stability, well, the fees and the expenses are massive, right? So you've got to keep those super low because these are bonds, and you don't have you're not averaging 12% per year. Mm-hmm. You're only averaging maybe 2 or 3% per year
so
on
if
average.
Your fee is 1% to 2%, do the math.
Yes. The fee was on top of this 1% to 2% of expense ratio. Okay.
Oh, that's what you said. Expense ratio first. Okay. Got it. Oh, wow. Okay.
And I was blown away, and I was like, guys, look, I was like, this is a bond portfolio, and your average expense ratios is over 1%. I was like, this is so out of date. And they said, you know what they said to me? They go, well, that makes sense. That advisor is 80 years old. Yes. And I'm like, it all made sense. I'm like, okay, wow. They have not adapted to current strategies, because that's what capitalism, competition, competitive, these funds, they start suppressing the cost, right? Because they, if they don't, well, if an advisor is any good, they're going to go with the lower cost option to get, this desired result. Mm-hmm. There's no reason to put something in there unless you're getting like kickbacks and front end loads and commissions and things like that. Mm-hmm. Right. So, which is not in your best interest. And as a fiduciary, we would not do that. So, So for these guys, having this second opinion was able to uncover all these fees, and it showed them like, we have got to make a change. I wish we came to see you sooner, right? Was what they said.
Yeah.
So for you listening, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to make available right now is my complimentary second opinion. You'll be able to tell really quick if you need to fire your coach and get a new coach. So let's start with a second opinion. Then you can tell, okay, I like what we're getting. It makes sense. They're bringing value, or maybe they're not. So let's start with this complimentary second opinion. If you're 55 or above and have saved $500,000 or more, pick up your phone and call my number, 843-890-2400. 843-890-2400. You can call or text the words second opinion. Tanya will text you right back or answer the phone call, and we'll get you on the calendar. 843-890-2400.
Thanks for listening to Charleston's Retirement Coach Podcast with Brandon Bowen. To learn more, visit bowenwealth.com and join Brandon for his radio show, Charleston's Retirement Coach, Saturdays at 11 a.m. on 94.3 WSC.
Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if J. Brandon Bowen is licensed in your state, please call 843-203-2030. J. Brandon Bowen is an investment advisor representative of Bowen Wealth, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or recommendation to buy or sell any financial vehicle. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments can fluctuate, and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. J. Brandon Bowen is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency, and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Bowen Wealth, LLC, insurance licensed in South Carolina. Market Guard is a registered investment advisor with the SEC and provides model portfolios only to Impact Partnership Wealth. Market Guard makes no implied warranties or representations and is not liable for any data presented.